Hey guys, welcome to this Duwut video about dreams, goals, and aspirations. That's usually what we're going to be talking about here. It is, of course, our core passion because that's what we're here for. That's what we are all about. So let's talk about that. Dreams, goals, and aspirations. We all have them in some shape or form, rattling around in our brains. They can get stuck there. They're an idea. They're something that we want to achieve. They're a desire. They're something that, again, is an idea, but it's not something that we've done. So I want to help those dreams come true, and I have a way to do that, but I want to start first with an origin story of sorts. I think it'll help if you know a little bit about the background behind all of this. My name is Craig Jaskey, and I myself have a story, as do you. And this is a place for stories to be told and for you to live out yours. And so our dreams, our goal, our desire is to help you get there. My background, I came from corporate world. I was in commercial real estate finance working for a very popular firm that was just truly a great place to be. Great people, great atmosphere. I really enjoyed my career and it just seemed like I was doing everything right. But it was killing my soul. I just didn't have that passion that I once had. I had lost that somewhere along the way. I came across a really good opportunity, though. I had the opportunity to become the CFO of a small marketing firm that had a ton of potential, and it already had achieved really good growth. And then we went and we 3x that growth in just 2 years. So it was a really, really good opportunity, a really good experience for us. As a family, we moved our family to a new state to go after this new opportunity and start this new life. Man, it's such a wonderful time. I learned again so much, and yet at the end of that 2-year period, the company actually closed. The owner went into another line of work, one that I wasn't as familiar with, and I would not have been as valuable of an asset. So I took my leave at that time, and that's left me with looking for new opportunities. And at one point, I was actually working construction just to help pay the bills while our house was on the market because we did have a long-term plan there. And I did actually become the operations manager there, and we were talking about becoming a partner in the firm. But I knew that that was not just going to be a really good long-term fit for me and my family. So we actually relocated. We went closer to family and used that as a launching point, I guess. It was an opportunity for a new company to be started. Taking one of these ideas that I've had along the way, as I'm sure you have as well, just this aha moment that's just a really good idea that you ponder on, and it just kind of gets buried away and swept under the rug at some point. So I dug a lot of those out, filtered through them, and came across one that I still felt was relevant and a really good idea. So I went after that and actually started a company. At that point in time, though, and this is where it starts to get interesting, I was backed into a corner. Okay, I needed a job, I needed work, I needed to support my family. I needed to do that to be the husband and the father that they deserve. So I went after it. I mean, full on. But let me tell you how I felt. I felt fear. I felt fear of the unknown because at this point, there is no manual, so to speak. Although there's a lot of them out there that they call themselves that, and I read most of them. There's no manual for this, so it was fear of the unknown, and of course, there's fear of failure. You're going out on a limb with no safety net. So, fear of failure is something that was right from day one. But I wanted a fulfilling job. I wanted to find enjoyment in what I was doing, something that I believed in, something that I was passionate about. I had that renewed sense of passion. So again, I just went after it. I decided to make it happen. And so I started putting all the pieces together. I've learned a lot, like I said, through prior positions, and so I took all those little bits of knowledge and I just started to enact everything that I had learned along the way. And then here's what happens, though. The excitement wore off. After several months of this, the sheen, I guess, had lost its glossiness. And I knew what I wanted. I just didn't know how to get there. I had made a lot of progress. I mean, a lot of traction had been gained. I was very busy, let's say. I mean, I was making sure that I was hyper productive every day because I only had myself to show for it, and so I needed to make sure that at the end of the day I could look back and look at all that I had done. So I was productive, but I was not effective. Okay, and that's how I got several months down the road, um, with not that much to show for it. I felt, and it was very overwhelming. It just felt like it was taking forever, and yet with all these bits and moving pieces, every single one of those pieces seemed like the highest priority, and every single one of those pieces needed to be done now. And yet each of those things is a full-time job. Companies have whole departments for each one of those things, and so I just got paralysis analysis, and I was stuck. I just didn't know where to go from there. So my wife and I were actually having this discussion one evening about a trip to Disney. Disney is her passion, it's my passion. It's just something that we love as a family and as individuals. So it's always a good place to regroup, and we hadn't been in a long time, so we were just thinking about a trip to Disney and how that would fit into our circumstance. So I asked my wife, what would that look like given our circumstance, just to be kind of immersed in Disney in some form or fashion. So hey, Cicely, how you doing, love? So we're having this discussion rather about this trip to Disney and how that could fit in our present environment, let's say. And so we started just mind mapping it. And mind mapping is something that we learned through the book Designing Your Life. I don't know if you've read that yet. I recommend it if you haven't. Bill Burnett and Dave Evans. But we started mind mapping this trip to Disney. Just what would that look like, and all the different facets and everything. And it just started to flow. It just started to come together. And what was coming out of us and starting to show up on paper, I guess, was just truly amazing. I mean, by the time that we were done with it, it's like we had just experienced this trip to Disney without ever actually going. But it put us in a really good place. But as we did that, I started to see a pattern. As we were mind mapping, all of the different facets to what enjoying Disney could look like, whether or not we were actually at the park. There just started to be a recurring theme here of the things we were writing down and how we were doing it and where these thought tangents were all going. And I realized that, wait, I've done this before. And I look back at my life, which is another story for another time. But hopefully it's something that I can find a way to make useful to you to help you achieve your dreams, goals, and aspirations, okay? I mean, from scuba diving below the ocean to flying planes in the atmosphere, and everything in between, mountain climbing and just you name it, snowboarding. We've done it, and we're going to get you there too. But what did we learn from all this? I realized that this is a pattern, this is mind mapper, this process creation is something that I had done for all of these different things that I've achieved throughout my life. Really, really good stuff. And I realized that, hey, I can actually recreate this process to accomplish just about anything. I've done it before, and if I really, orient this, I guess, into a finite and measurable thing, and then I can use this to help people. And the first thing that I did then is to put into practice is I applied it to my business, okay, this business that I've been at for months now. And so I started applying this process creation. Just I started breaking everything down into these processes and these individual actionable steps. And as I did that, just writing it down and mapping it out just started to make so much sense. And it really gave me clarity as to where this business was, where it was going, and how I could get it there. But here's the problem. I was out of time, okay? I'd been out this for over a year now as our family's primary source of income and support for my children and my wife. And so I needed to make something happen. I just was not where we wanted to be yet. I mean, the business was growing. It just wasn't there. It wasn't at that marker, I guess, that we had set for this point in the timeline. And that was hard. That was a tough realization. It was something that we just had to be honest with ourselves and keep it moving forward. We had to make a decision, go back or go forward, fail fast, fail forward. And so that's what I did. I doubled down. And I really honed in on this process that I believed in. And so I really started using that with time management and with focus, just sticking to the process. And by doing that, it started to come together, and I refined some things along the way, um, and I started to see the results, and this is where it started to get really exciting. Um, this brings us to today. Okay, this is an origin story, and it is in fact in process. All right, so this is something that we get to walk through together, and I want you to do the same because this is what we want to hear about. We want to hear about your dreams and goals and aspirations and how they're coming along. So this is something that we want you to do is share with us your progression um, and start hearing about all of these accomplishments that you're going to put together uh, by applying process and by keeping your focus, which we will help you to do. So as of today, I've got patents pending. The business is growing, making connections, all because of this process, this finite um, formula that has been refined and is going to be shared here soon. Um, that's where we are today. The business is growing and things are looking really good. So what I've learned along the way then is really this zoom out, and then zoom in process. Okay, this is part of this formula that I referred to. At first, you have to zoom out and just figure out the main thing. What is the main thing, and just have a laser-like focus on this is what we are going to achieve. Keeping that in mind, then we're going to zoom in and start breaking that down into actionable steps. That's how I've gotten where I am today, and that's what I realized I had applied so many times before without knowing it. It's kind of like a periscope in a submarine. Okay, you bring it up to surface level, you pop the periscope up, and you take your little look around. All right, just to get your bearings. What's around you? Okay, are we still pointing in the right direction? Great. And then you take it down and you go deep. All right, so that's what we're going to do. Just keep the main thing, and then take baby steps along the way to get there. Small, actionable steps. They're going to keep you inspired. They're going to keep you motivated. Um, and that's something that I can share with you. That is something that I discovered along the way and throughout my journey thus far, that this is something I can share with others to achieve their dreams, their goals, their aspirations. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to start taking these ideas, these dreams of yours, and we're going to start transitioning those. Okay, we want to get those from something that's an idea to something I've done. All right, and that's what we're really excited to get to. So that's about it for today. Just want to keep this short, and again, kind of an origin story of sorts. So stay tuned with us. We're going to have new live feeds coming mostly on Monday mornings. I want to just come at you with a really useful piece of information, something that you can keep with you and take with you throughout the week to keep you in a good mindset and get you in a good place by the Friday. So look for us on Monday mornings. We're going to help you out throughout the week. Like, comment, and share along the way. I will respond, and we can refine this. Start telling your story and hearing about your dreams, goals, and aspirations. We look forward to speaking with you.